So today's program is called Surviving the National Eating Season, and I have Karen Richey from Marshall County Extension Office. She's the Health and Human Science educator. They're here to help you with this program today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. And as we look out at the sky and we're thinking, okay, it looks like fall going into winter, we're thinking, okay, well, we probably are going into hibernation. And when we talk about hibernation, we think more about eating, comfort foods, but actually, even more importantly, we're going into what we call National Eating Season. And what I mean by that, and the thing about it is every time we try to eat healthy, along comes Halloween, Christmas, or well, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's, Super Bowl Sunday, and then Valentine's, and then Easter. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just to mention a few of those holidays. But the thing is that I want to focus on is really from Halloween to the first of the year, because it seems to be that we have more opportunity to indulge, if you say, into foods that we probably wouldn't otherwise. And the thing about it is when we talk about that, we have to understand that research has shown that the average American will gain about anywhere from 7 to 10 pounds. Now, another research study said actually about 8 pounds. So you can see that 7 to 10 pounds. But when we read articles, it'll say, oh, you're going to gain 5 pounds. Well, the fact of the matter is it depends who you are, and it depends on the climate. It depends on, you know, the parties that you go to and what kinds of food are there. So kind of keep that thought in your mind about 5 pounds. Okay, we'll go with a lesser amount right now. But overall, and that's what they suggest, that there's about a 5 pound gain from Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. But I'm thinking about probably a little higher because Halloween, we start a little earlier. So definitely it's known that weight gain goes up during the holidays, but there's not necessarily so much pre-holiday time or post-holiday time. It's kind of that stretch of time. So when we think about that, we really have to think about some tips that we're going to use as well as some strategies. And unfortunately, winter is coming on. So the cumulative effects of whether it's fall, winter, we definitely have weight gain. Which is likely to contribute to the significant increase in body weight. And when we have significant increase in body weight, it seems like it stays with us every time if we don't exercise to get rid of to lose it, so to speak. And as we frequently gain that weight, and then we don't lose it, then we're talking health problems. And so that's a whole other topic, but just understand that there are consequences. So we want to make sure and promote a healthy weight stability during the holidays. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about, or all of you about today. So some of the things we have to think about is every choice has a consequence. So you own your own choice. And the thing about it is if I had fudge standing or sitting here, or if I had grapes or apples, what's most likely you would go to when it's a holiday party?
Most people would go towards the fudge, most definitely.
Yeah, because we don't have fudge during the year otherwise. So it's really owning your own choice. And the thing about it is can you get back in control? And yes, you can. So if you've just had that one piece of fudge, that's not so bad. But if you go to several parties and there's several trays of fudge and that's your thing, you start gaining a little weight, so to speak. So you really have to remember that your way you can weekly kind of balance that out is through physical activity. So you can make a significant difference if you increase your physical activity when you start eating fudge or extra things. So what I'd like to do is kind of go over some tips, and hopefully these are things that are some strategies that people can implement through the holidays. Eat before an event. Okay, so Shannon, give me some ideas of what you do when you can utilize that concept?
So for our family, we have Thanksgiving around noon. So we found that if we eat breakfast in the morning before going to that, we're not as likely to eat as much during the Thanksgiving festival that we're having at the house. So we eat a lot less that day than if we don't have a breakfast. So that helps us out tremendously.
And that's true, and we'll get into that, because the fact of the matter is these people that skip meals, then you are so hungry. And so we're even going to talk about how to eat and what foods to eat first to fill you up. So the other tip I have is make your foods ahead of time and bring them with you. So if there's something that you want to consume and take it along with you, maybe it's a protein shake, you know, while you're driving to that event, go ahead and do that. And you can also take some things with you that you know you will be eating at that event as well. So number 3 is to prepare a healthy dish for everyone. So do you have any suggestions of how you might do that?
So some suggestions would include creating a fruit tray or even a vegetable tray and taking that along with you instead of it having a sweet. Fix one of those instead.
And I've done that for a couple of my programs and actually had some workshops of whether it be a holiday for the Thanksgiving or whether it happens to be Christmas, different kinds of vegetable trays. And like you say, even using fruit. So there's lots of ideas out there. Number 4 is to offer to bring a vegetable tray or fruit salad. And so we're right on with that number. And again, be creative. I think the more appetizing it looks, it really, you know, makes a difference because you're more drawn to it because of that.
Especially with little kids, they'll draw closer to that if it's something they recognize or see.
Exactly. Number 5 is to arrive fashionably late. Now let me explain that one, okay? So, and I don't like to be late, but this tip is the fact that you call ahead and you would tell them that for some reason that you will be late, and your reasoning needs to be believable. Okay, let's face it that way. But the fact of the matter is you purposely arrive fashionably late so that you say, oh, I'm only can take a small amount, or I've eaten already, and you can excuse yourself from having a large meal. I'm not sure how many people will do that. But again, that's a tactic or tip.
That would not work in our household. My mom will hold up dinner if we don't arrive on time. So she'll wait until the last person who's expected to attend arrives before she'll even serve dinner. So yeah, that one would be hard in our family.
And it would be in ours too as well. Well, number 6 is ask if there will be water or other low or no calorie beverages options there. And most people in today's society drink a lot of water, and we have water, air tea, things like that. But I think if you're thinking more of a party atmosphere, and so a lot of times there's, you know, alcohol, or there's mixed drinks, or there's punch that has a lot of sugar in it. So you might even take a bottle of water with you, and that's acceptable in today's society, I think. The other thing is to keep track of what you eat daily. Do you want to share about how you might do that during the holidays?
During the holidays, how you would keep track of it is maybe just get a spreadsheet and write down what it is that you have each day and how much of that. Kind of keep track of the quantity, because it's really going to depend on the quantity of how much you're eating to keep that weight off and keep it down.
Again, physical activity, the amount you take in and the amount you expend through exercise. You might also think about joining a weight management program too, to help you to keep your physical activity up. I also want to go over some do's and don'ts. Okay. And some of these are similar, but the first one is to make a plan to manage your stress level. And I think that's extremely important, because during the holidays, I find myself, if I'm stressed, the first thing I want to go to is grab something to put it in my mouth, which is obviously not the thing to do. So this article that I read encouraged you to at least take 10 minutes that you can feel more relaxed, whether it's listen to music, maybe it's read a book for 10 minutes, whatever to bring your anxiety, your stress level down, and that think about food,
Right.
distribute or rethink what you're doing. So
For us, it's going out with our dogs, running around with them for a while. So we're getting the physical exercise, but we're also getting our minds off of the stressful situation.
perfect, perfect. Number 2 is don't skip meals. You need that save up for the holiday dinner. It actually seems to backfire, and we talked about that, making sure that you eat throughout the day. And another thought that was encouraging is to eat your foods in a specific order. And I found that interesting. So a lot of us get served vegetables or not entrees, but appetizers. So it could be fruit, vegetables, it could be a salad. And the thing about all the vegetables and salads is the fact that they're low in calorie, but they're high in fiber. And our fiber is going to fill us up, which is good type of thing. Then the next thing that you would eat is your protein sources, because protein is going to slow your digestion down a bit, and it'll make you feel full longer, and that's what you want, okay? And so then you could turn to your carbs, whether it's the potatoes or, crackers or something like that, because carb foods last. You want to eat them last, because at the end of the meal, the less hungry you are eating, definitely you're going to go back to the fact that you'll eat more of those other kinds of foods that are better for you. So I thought that found, think of it in a plan, and you definitely have to have a plan, so to speak, to think about that. Number 4 is don't forget the beverage count. We kind of talked about that. You want to stick without sugar or a drink. If you have a drink, it should only have at the minimum of 100 calories. So kind of be conscientious of that. Another one is do give into your cravings. And I thought this was very interesting. So it's kind of unrealistic to think that we're going to just not eat anything, okay? So do you have a strategy that you might use when you're going through the holidays and you see all these kinds of foods?
For us, it's just picking what we like and eating that, but making sure we don't eat in an overabundance. So only one small portion of that item. Sometimes we even do the thing in my family where we just have one dessert, so no one's overeating that way. That seems to have helped a lot in the family by not overeating desserts, because of course that's where all your sugars are.
True, and I think the thing about it that I took away from the message there in this article that I read was the fact that if you're going to indulge, find the very best thing of that. So let's say cheesecake, okay? So if you really like cheesecake, rather than going out and just getting, I don't mean to be disrespectful to a cheesecake that's store-bought, okay, and bring it home, compared to one that's whether made by a really nice bakery that this is really, really good cheesecake. So if you're going to indulge in that really good piece, because then you'll be satisfied rather than, I just have this and I really want that, type of thing. Kind of like, I have to laugh because in the office here today, we were talking about fruitcake, and everybody said, well, we don't have to worry about finding the very, very best fruitcake because no one likes fruitcake. So again, and you're just focusing on one and just have one piece. And the other thing is don't be afraid to say no to the hostess, okay? This is not the last fruitcake or food that you're going to ever see. So the fact of the matter is knowing that you may get it another time. So if you have fudge again, I'll go back to the fudge, and you're going to 5 parties and they're probably all going to have fudge. Just find out where you want to eat that piece of fudge and not go to all 5 of them.
Who makes the best fudge?
Who makes the best fudge? That's right.
There.
And the other part of it is it's okay to say, I feel full. I really don't need to eat anymore. We've been eating at all these other places. And you're basically trying to be very careful about your intake. And, you just pass on it. Some things you just pass on. You don't want to have them. Another one is to focus on your fork when eating. And this is to be what I refer to, and I have done a program on mindful eating. So you really look at the food, you smell it, you taste it, you really, and enjoy what you're eating. Be mindful. And the fact of the matter is, instead of going like this, and I gotta get seconds, or I wanna try everything that's here, like all those desserts. If you have 5 desserts, somebody's gonna wanna have a little piece of all 5. So I think the thing is to make sure that you really be mindful of what you're eating and enjoy it. Another one is to not lounge after dinner. Okay, so I don't. You already said you're out walking or playing with your puppies and your dogs, and so the fact of the matter is the more you exercise, the better, and everything is going to count, even if it's that 10 minutes. But you're just out moving, and you're not. Oh, I feel so full. I just have to sit down and relax, which I find happening at Thanksgiving time because all the football games are on and all that. So we get into a pattern.
Instead of watching the games, go out and play a football game, maybe a tag, or flag football game instead.
Exactly. So do stay focused on the long game, and what is meant by that is, where are you trying to lose or maintain weight? And the fact of the matter is if you know that when you said no, it's because maybe you have a chronic disease, or maybe you're trying to lose weight, and keep that in the back of the mind. That's what's most important. So you have to think about some of those things. One of the other things I found was very interesting, and I normally don't talk about this when I talk about surviving the holiday season, is the fact that consuming fermented foods. And this was from a researcher, and they really felt that during the holiday season, it's important to consume, whether it be maybe some yogurt, some sauerkraut, maybe home pickled vegetables, some kombucha, things like that. Because when you consume the fermented foods, they have a consistency and frequency that can help with the minor digestion issues that come with really heavy holiday foods. So they really move that metabolism along. So I thought that was very interesting. Yes. Not that you want to encourage overeating and then go back and have some of fermented foods to counterbalance it. But I thought that was interesting, because a lot of times we eat so much and then we feel bloated and that kind of thing. And that's when we need to make sure we consume some fermented foods. So probiotics is extremely important in that. So with that, I hope that we really realize that we need to find a balance, and whether it's physical activity with the amount of food that we have consumed, but having a plan and doing it on purpose, making sure that we, again, pick the foods that are the ones that you really, really like, that matter the most, and then portion size. You talked about that. It's not the size of the indulgence that matters, but it's the intent to be present and enjoy it to the fullest. So I think eat slowly, that's one thing. Use small plates, that's another thing. Wait 20 minutes and see if you really want that second helping, may not, type of thing, and have a healthy snack prior to attending that part of your dinner, just like we used to, and making sure you eat breakfast, because, and especially if you have protein, because that's going to last even longer with you. So anything that you want to add that that works for you and your family?
No, I think that's it that I have for us today.
Okay. So when you think about all those trick or treats, just remember Halloween starts the beginning of the national eating season. So we're going to survive it by really being conscientious of what we just talked about. And hopefully come New Year, you won't have to have a resolution of I'm going to lose weight. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Make sure that you complete the Qualtrics survey that's attached. That's how we keep track of who participated in this program. And if you have time and could complete the survey also, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.